I've launched a webinar series with experts in education from across the world, delivering meaningful and high-level content, which is open and available to all teachers to participate. In addition, our vision has to help teachers put problem-based learning into viable practice. More to come on that. I see a bright future ahead for the mission of our work. We will have some special announcements coming soon, but for now, let us celebrate and honor the 2025 SFIT Fellows. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah. All right. What he was just trying to say in summary, trying to appreciate the MTC, the board members of the MTC, and also Intellectual Giants in Africa Foundation for their tireless work, and also stating some, observation, and trying to encourage administrators and teachers to also try to, inspire the teachers in your schools so that they can also apply for the award. And there are a whole lot of activities that are also coming up that we are going to be coming with, with time. But we also need that cooperation from all the partnering schools. Thank you very much, William Biolavin, for that amazing and inspiring speech. All right, so as we were communicating, some of our distinguished guests of honors came around. One of them is Mr. Shegun Abiri. He's an educator par excellence. He's a man of vision. When our project manager said we have found someone to speak, I said, all right, go ahead. And I didn't see any reason why he shouldn't come for our occasion. So it's my pleasure seeing you, sir. And we also have the SFIT 2022 award winner in the person of Mrs. Singbo Agnes. Yes, she is going to be part of us. Fortunately or unfortunately, we are not going to be having from the public sector, stakeholders from the public sector, because we used last year's planning for this year. We started planning like 1 month to the program, and when we started sending letters to the Minister of State, to the Minister of Education, and so on, it was late. So we are going to have that conversation. Maybe next time when we are planning, we'll make it 3 months, because at some point I was, in the Ministry of Education, and some of the staff, they were even telling me sometimes they go home 10 p.m. A lot of files piling. So for us to even come a month to our program was late already. So we have learned our lessons, and that's the reason why you can see some little changes there. So none of the public stakeholders are involved, but we still thank God for everything. All right, so without further ado, I just want to go straight to the next speaker, and he's going to be speaking from the US. His name is Peter Oyewole. So the media, are you ready? You are going to be reading his bio, and also you would give us his pre-recorded speech. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I hope you are having a nice time and I hope you are enjoying the moment in today's event. My name is Peter Oyewole, as I have been introduced, and I must say that I am grateful. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you as the keynote speaker in the 2025 Summer Fellowship for Innovative Teaching Award. My keynote speaking is going to be wrapped around the title Teaching for Every Child. But before I begin my keynote speaking, I want to appreciate everyone who has made today possible. I want to thank the MTC leaders. I want to thank our partners with the MTCs. And I want to thank every families and friends who have stood or who have been behind all our teachers that we are celebrating today, supporting them. And also, and most importantly, I want to congratulate all the awardees and I want to say thank you for great work you are doing in the classroom. And also, I want to appreciate all our special guests who are here today to grace today's occasion and celebrate our teachers. Something about myself, um, I I started, well, I would say my journey starts from being a child myself in the classroom, learning, being the kindergarten boy in the classroom learning. Fast forward, I have, and I'm going to say a story towards that. Um, Fast forward, I had my bachelor's and master degree in education, teacher education, at the University of Ibadan. And then after then, I have been privileged to work with different age group as educator in the classroom, either as a teacher or implementing one educational program or the other across all age group from I would say pre-K to K-12, which is the preschool, the elementary school, the junior school, the senior school, and currently a doctoral researcher rounding up my programs in few months in curriculum and instruction at Kent State University, Kent, Ohio, here uh, where I am in the United States. And I also work currently as a university instructor in education. I teach classes in early childhood class and I teach classes in science education. Back to my story when I started as a young boy in the classroom. So I will say that yeah, my journey started being that little child in the classroom myself, in the kindergarten, in the preschool. And I remember that I had a teacher um, who believed and celebrate my effort despite my limitation then. Then I had a speech limitation, I stammers or stuttering. And I find it very hard to express myself despite the fact that I know what I want to say. I know answer to what I mean, I know answers, like I knew the answers to the teacher's question, but I find it very challenging to express myself because of my speech, let me say speech impairment or speech challenge. So, but the teacher noticed that and celebrated my effort. Anytime I make effort to express myself, she always celebrate me. And then when I love participating in drama, but I have a speech challenge. But she never um, say don't do it. You know, she gave me the opportunity to express myself. She celebrated my effort, and that kind of built the confidence in me. She provided the right environment for me, and that kind of make me not to give up on myself. That helped me to still express myself regardless of the situation. And today, I would say that I'm happy that I'm also a teacher and I love to talk a lot. So I appreciate that. So what am I saying is that in education, with my over a decade experience working as an educator, I believe strongly that when identity is honored, when belonging is built in our classroom, when identity is honored in our classroom, when belonging is built and possibility is uncapped, education becomes transformative. And I will say that I am a testament to that. Um, just about 2 weeks ago, in my teaching class where I worked as university instructor, I teach a class in education called Introduction to Early Childhood. I have in my class registered for the class about 68 students. That was about 2 weeks ago, but currently about 69 students. Being the first class, I started after the basic introduction, getting to introducing myself as the instructor and getting to know my students. So I asked the question, who was told not to become a teacher? And I will say that I am not surprised. Almost all the 68 hands were up. And this is due to the societal um, like perspectives about teaching, not a great paying job and things like that. And yeah, many people want to have their uh, family or friends, get a job that is maybe highly paying at something. And then I asked the question again, another question, why do you want to teach anyway? Why do you still want to be a teacher? And I get this kind of answers in the room. Some said they want to be that champion for the student. Some said they want to help students and they want to impact as many students that come across their path. Some said teaching is sacred. It's not for everyone. It's not easy, but that is where they find a purpose. A purpose. Basically, the most common thing is that this students want to help other kids, and I believe that is also why most of us have chosen to be a teacher, despite the odds that some looks, some I mean, despite the hope that some, uh, view teaching as a profession, not maybe not well paying, or it's very stressful, it's demanding and things like that. So I believe that several of us came into teaching, not just to make ends meet, but we are here for a purpose, and that purpose is to be that champion for all our students, not just for one student, for two students, but for every student in our classrooms. Today we are celebrating innovative idea in classroom, beautiful ideas that teachers are implementing or we implement in the classroom. And the challenge now we should ask ourselves is that with our ideas and efforts, who identity is not still seen, who student is still unheard, who student is still disengaged? I think this is a very important question that we should ask ourselves as a teacher. And I think I also have another example as a teacher. Another example of a teacher who I had in my senior school. I think the person, yeah, it was a mathematics teacher. A class of about 40 students. That teacher, if only two persons respond to his questions in a class of about 40, he doesn't mind about others. He keeps teaching. He believes everybody understood. And whereas some of us are there, including myself, not really catching what the teacher is saying. So with our ideas and innovations, it is critical that we still, with our plans, it is very critical that we still ask the questions whose identity is still unseen, whose voice is unheard, or who is disengaged, and what can we do to bring everyone on board. Um, I have here three possible moves or three possible approach we could think about. Educators call this universal design learning, and it has been used and tested. It's a research-oriented to engaging students. It's called universal design to learning. In simple words, these three moves is the first one is engagement. The second one, making learning matter, and making learners matter. That's engagement. Making learning matters and making learners matter. Every learners matter. Then the second one is making our ideas visible. and making learners visible. Then the third one is action and expression. It is also making learners to participate in different ways and also expressing themselves, expressing what they have learned in different ways. How can we do that? I have just some few points here. Maybe not all encompassing. I have a very limited time, but something we can think about. Engagement in learning number one I have here is know your student beyond names. As a teacher, I think one of the powerful tool we use in education to meet every learner's need is to understand our student. I think without I'm the only person that have a speech challenge or impairment, but she still has to carry me along, and I think I really benefit from uh, like I would say I benefit from her generosity. So make learning purposeful and relevant and clear. Students tend to engage more in learning when learning purpose is very clear and relevant to their need. Then also with sparking curiosity about what is to be learned. This is just about making learners to feel motivated, they are interested. So we can start learning. How do we spark curiosity? Learning can start by talking about a story. Let's say we want to talk about evaporation in science. You want to make learning, we want to start with the story of what the student had experienced with evaporation, maybe the experience they have, maybe their mom boiling water or dad boiling water in the house. And we can use that to, then we can keep asking questions, what do you think about this? And that can kind of spark a curiosity about what is to be learned, and also offer choices and approaches to tasks. Some approach may work well for some students, and some may not work well with other students. So we offer more choices in approaches to tasks, and I would say that the more options we have, the more approaches we have, the more we can get more students engaged. Then I have a connect lessons to lived experiences, that is to what students can relate with, they can make meaning of, they have seen before, or they have idea before. And also using partnership in learning, this is allowing students to work in group. This can help more engagement. Then the second one I have here is representation. The word of learning, representation means that we have a classroom settings where every student can belong, every student can participate, regardless of their identity. They have different ways that work best. I mean, different options that could support them. So we make yeah, we support them. For instance, in our classroom we have test materials and medias that reflect student diverse cultures and identity. Then the third one, which is the final one I have here, is using multiple ways, allowing learners to use multiple ways to show understanding. And this speaks a lot to assessment. Giving learners more ways to show understandings, we can give options for them to write, speak, draw, and build. And also we can leverage on technology for inclusive expression. There are more uh, developing technologies to help learners, different learners and their needs. So also we have, like I think I've mentioned this before, flexible assessment, honoring different strengths, and also inviting learners to share ideas with others. Then we listen as the teachers, and we guide with our expertise. So to conclude my presentation, I want to say that the work is never finished. This doesn't mean we are not doing a great job. We are doing a great job, and that is why today worth it to keep uh, looking for more ways to support our students. And I hope that your classroom and my classroom continue always to be that place of courage for every student, a place of creativity, and a place of care for all the students. Thank you for your work that you do both seen and unseen. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for your attention. I hope you enjoy the rest of the day, the rest of the moment. Thank you. I hope you are having a nice time, and I hope you are.
Yeah, thank you very much. Mr. Peter Oyewole, teaching for every child. And some of the things he said was that when he was young, he normally stammers, and there was he couldn't really express himself very well, and he had a teacher who helped him out and brought out the good in him. I mean, if you ask a lot of students nowadays, nobody wants to become a teacher. I mean, 99.9% of students that you teach, if you ask them, do you want to become a teacher? Some of them will say, God forbid. Because they believe that teachers are for, I don't know what to use, the language to use, because a lot of people do not like the teaching profession, and most especially in Africa. Because one, sometimes when you see their salary, is nothing to write home about. Secondly, t-shirts they wear to classroom, you discover that it's really fading. It's really fading, yeah. And some of them, you know, their trousers and everything, you are just like, oh, what is this? What is this? I can never become a teacher. All right, but we all know that teachers are the ones that build the generation of Wole. And he talked about, you know, identifying who is unseen. There are many children in our classrooms that are not seen. We need to identify them. And let's fit the ideas into learners' context. And he said, let's turn innovation into what will impact all learners. Once again, Mr. Peter Oyewole, thank you very much for that amazing speech. All right, so as we were having that second speech speaker by Peter Oyewole, we had some guests who came in. Just to mention the principal of Community Secondary School at Sokoro, the place where we had our first SFIT award celebration, the second one, the third one, Mr. Seidu. He is here with us. Thank you very much, sir, for coming. And I also need to announce this. He's my principal. Please clap now. Yes, he's my principal. I went to community secondary school at Sokoro, and for me, this is more like a give back to them. Thank you very much. All right, and we also have some special guests I still want to recognize. Miss Susan Nenge, is she around? All right, thank you very much for coming. Mr. Bakare Mojid, thank you very much. Is Dr. Emmanuel Koledoye around? All right, and Prince Joseph Abiri, okay, and Engineer Adeyinka Alaba. All right, thank you very much for coming. And for the representatives, okay, yeah, Houston British International School, we have Mr. Audu Emmanuel. I saw him in the house. Where are you, sir? Oh, thank you very much. I need to tell you something about him. He was the winner for the past SFIT award, and now he's the head teacher of the school. Wow. All right, so that is one beautiful thing that SFIT award can do to you. You can get promoted. And one thing I love about him, his tireless efforts. He has been consistently failing. He has always been applying, and he was always failing, but last year was, you know,
Leaders Initiative. He is also recognized by the World Literacy Foundation Australia, Bridge for Enterprise New Delhi, India, and UNESCO Institute of Lifelong Learning. Beyond his professional commitments, Shagun is passionate about mentoring and equipping educators, youth, and community leaders to leverage their knowledge and skills. In his leisure time, he enjoys listening to music, which he considers a source of relaxation and creative inspiration.
Without wasting much time, it's my pleasure without measure, without any pressure on me, to invite Mr. Shegun Abiri. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Shegun Abiri. Okay, so sometimes in 2023, I had the opportunity to conduct or be engaged in my National Youth Service Corps in Nasarawa State. Massacre to be precise. And to be more precise, Royal College Massacre. It's a very gigantic big school in Nasarawa State. There, I did my youth service and I engaged in personal community development service. At the end of my youth service in 2014, I got the state award and I got the 8th position at the national award for my educational involvement in education. I did conferences like this, seminar like this, inter-schools competitions within just 11 or 12 months of my National Youth Service Corps in Nasarawa State. From there, I realized that I may not be able to actually work for anyone because my intention was always see how I can actually help, assist as many people as possible, get people employed as many as possible. And realizing that I would need to be a full-time teacher, worst case scenario at a government school, private school, will not give me the opportunity to give people that which I wish for them. So I never wanted to work for anyone. So I set up my programs, NGOs, consulting programs, and I engaged in a host of others. So I moved down to Abuja after my NYC. The school where I actually served retained me and they doubled my payment, but was not showing on the pay slip. They wanted me to stay. They gave me a one-bedroom flat. They wanted me to stay by fire by force. They retained me. They doubled the payment, but never going to show on the pay slip, so that other teachers will not protest. The teachers have been there for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, so they will not protest. But still, I only worked with them for about 3 months post-service, and I moved down to Abuja. 2015, Empower came on board, right? The first tenure of Buhari, and I was selected and I was posted to Nuku in Abaji Area Council, FCT Abuja. If you know Nuku, there is no water in that community, there is no supply. Anytime they dig borehole, they can never access to water. So nearby communities where they bring water. So I was there. The school gave me access, they gave me accommodation, they gave me everything, but I can't stay. So I worked there for less than 3 months, and I redeployed back to Amak, somewhere along Airport Road, Abuja. To be specific, Soka Axis, Abuja, where I did my Empower. Then from there, I did several communities where I just about 36 plus FCT myself to become the national. Where I just about 36 plus FCT myself to become the national ambassador of Empower, where we had the opportunity to meet with Empower National Director, the Minister of Education, then Empower, then it was under, you remember? It was under the Vice President, right? Yemi Oshimbajo, before they now took it to under Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Human Development, right? So I had the opportunity to actually engage with them because of my other activities and promotion of Empower. During the last year of Buhari, I was visited, my center was visited, my house was visited, and I ran a series of interviews and radio programs and TV series for them for my involvement and my promotions of Empower program in education for Buhari tenure. Why I'm saying this is for us to have the background mindset that being a teacher does not end in the classroom. You have to put in your personal effect. If I want to ask now, how many of us are currently an educator? Either you own a school, you teach in a school, or you do part-time program, whatever. You are currently an educator. Can I see your hands up, please? Currently an educator. Virtually, roughly about 80–90% of us. If I want to ask sincerely, in the next 10 years, how many of us want to still be an educator? Can I see your hands up? Be sincere. You see? 10%. 10% of the first hand. 10% of the first hand. That is why we have to think outside the box, to be innovative in our engagement, to be exceptional in whatever we do, to make sure that you touch life and affect life. I'm going to present this paper and it's titled Engaging or Expanding the Frontiers of Education from Classroom Teaching to Become an Educational Entrepreneur. My name is Shegun Abiru once again, and I stand in on behalf of the whole team of the Institute of Non-Formal Education Practitioners. It's a nationally recognized non-formal education board in strategic positions and partnership with MBTE, Ministry of Education, and the likes. I had the opportunity to commence I funded this about 5 years ago, but after I joined another sector, a public sector, I had to relinquish my position as the founder and the CEO to another board member, and I moved up to the cadre of being the chairman in non-executive category. Now, so today we're going to discuss about other aspects where you may want to explore aside from teaching, and you may want to get some other income as they were. Well, most of us are in teaching, we are teachers, and we have intention that in the next 3 years, 5 years, I'm going to leave teaching because we don't have the mindset to diversify our thought processes, diversify our source of income to see how we can expand our strategies and our skills to make more money. So distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to stand in here, and I want to appreciate the funders, the initiators, most especially Mr. Emmanuel. This is a very great fit for him. Please, can we clap for Oga? Thank you so much. This is huge. This is huge. If we have to do our own background check, we realize that most of the funding that goes into this event is personal funding. We maybe see some of the international sponsors, Mr. Thompson, this Modrock Thompson Center for Teachers. In most of events like this, they don't want to use their name, their picture to promote projects like this. They may not have any hand in it. I've not met him. This is my first time of meeting with him. I don't know how they got this funding, but I want to congratulate you. This is a very great light. Before I go further, on behalf of the Institute of Non-Formal Education, we are fully in support for our next program. I would like to be partner with this event. And the sponsors for the winners of the teacher would like to make it double. So you pick one, Institute of Non-Formal Education will sponsor another winner. So we are having 2 winners henceforth by God's will. Just let us know what it takes, we take it. Strictly, our own teacher must come from non-formal sector, skill and vocational education sector. You must be either in TVET, technical, vocational, vocational and program. So you must be a TVET teacher from either public or private-owned schools. That's where we do our loan sponsor and the likes. So I don't want not to be here today at 2025 Summer Innovative Teachers Conference and Award. I thank the organizers and every other persons who are involved. I thank the Intellectual Giant and Africa Foundations in Nigeria for creating this platform for all of us to be here. As chairman of the Governing Council of the Institute of Non-Formal Education Practitioners, I've seen firsthand how education, when innovatively applied, goes beyond classrooms and chalkboards. It becomes a powerful tool for empowerment, wealth creation, and sustainable development. Today, I want to speak on 4 key areas. I want to speak to you on 4 key areas, not just as teachers or educators, but as visionaries and potential educational entrepreneurs or as potential entrepreneurs. The changing phase of education. All of us know nowadays that education is changing, gradually changing from physical involvement to virtual, right? During COVID-19, a lot of people they lost their jobs. So many schools closed down, so many religious organizations closed down. But those schools who are able to easily move to digitalization, they were able to make it quickly. That's where Zoom was able to project out. Zoom was able to make so much money from it, and a host of other digital platforms for educators. Today, we're going to talk about the changing phase of education. Education is no longer continued to schools, timetables, and examinations. It is no longer confined in these 3 areas: the schools, the timetable, and examination. It is beyond these 3 areas, not just schools, timetable. Because you could actually be educated even on the road. You could be educated virtually. There are people who are in Nigeria, the US, Canada, and other parts of the world like that. The world is changing, and we must also change alongside. If not, we will be a cake. We will be left behind. That is why if the care is not taken, when you have been teaching, some of us have been teaching 10 years, 15 years ago, when we see some of our students that we thought then, they are way, way above us because we refuse to move up the ladder. We trained them. We had NCEs about 15, 20 years ago when you trained them. They were in primary or secondary school that time. They had their primary school, finished secondary school. They went to degree. You still have your NCE 15 years after. They finish that degree. They come back as a lecturer. That's when you now go to university. They will now come and be your lecturer in university. From your NCE, that's after 15 years, you want to enroll for your degree. Sometimes, even if you don't not enroll for a degree program, you get to meet them on the road. You cannot even equate yourself with them because they are way, way above your level. You know, we must continue to actually make sure that we upscale ourselves. With technology, globalization, and innovation, educators now have opportunities. Technology, globalization, and your ability to innovate what your idea is. You must be able to do what? Educators must be able to make use of opportunity to leverage on their skills, the knowledge, and the experiences you have had. Most of us have skills, you have the experiences, you have the knowledge of at least 5 years of teaching experience, of at least 5 years of managing a school, of at least 5 years of being a consulting persons. You know, we must be able to leverage on this, making use of technology, making use of the globalizations as the case may be. To create what? To create new streams of source of income and impact for yourselves. Because if you remain as teacher and you just teach and get salary, you may remain as poor 5, 10, 20 years later. How much is the highest paid teacher in Abuja? Private school, probably around 500,000 naira. Probably around 1 million naira. I don't think there's any private school who pays more than 1 million naira in this FCT. Is there anyone who knows any school who pays more than 1 million naira here? Anyone? As teacher, either degree or masters. Do you know anyone? Any school? So no school even pay up to 1 million naira. But you, on your own, you can easily make more than that as being a teacher and do extra work without one affecting the other. Think about it. The teacher is not only a knowledge giver, but also a problem solver. One of the easiest way to make money in this world is when you identify a problem and you provide solutions to it, right? You identify a problem, you provide solutions. So when you're in the classrooms, you are not only giving knowledge, you are solving the problem of those who cannot read and write. You are solving the problem of those who are not educated. So you are solving a problem. So think deep. Think of a tiny part of the education that you can easily identify the problem and solve, that you make money from it. Author, you may be a problem solver, you may be an author, you may be a consultant, a trainer, a coach, an innovator. There are a series of them. Let's look at the diversifying beyond classrooms, diversified areas where you can explore beyond classrooms. Many teachers struggle financially, not because they lack ability, but because they have not fully explored the wealth of opportunities around education. Let me give you a few practical examples of areas you can explore. Let's look at writing and publishing. By God's grace, I wrote 5 different books, and 2 of them have been published internationally with ISBN. Okay? If you are doubting, just pick up your phone and Google ABC of Adult Education for Practitioners. You will see it. ABC of Adult Education for Practitioners. So you can write, you can publish. The funny thing is that some of us have lesson notes, lesson plan of about 5, 10 years, bulky notes. You can compile this stuff together as materials for other teachers, for other students in the education sector. You can sell them online. You can sell them, combine them and sell them physically. So you can be an author. You already teach, you already write virtually every day. Compile all this you are writing together and make it an effective use for yourself and turn it to money. You know, it's very, very much possible. Let's look at number 1. Number 2, consulting and training. I set up what is called Shegun Abiri Consulting and SA Consulting, where I do human resources, management, and educational consulting services. Not advertising, our office is somewhere around Jabi Axis. So if you probably reach out, if you want to set up your school, you want to upscale your school, you want to recruit more staffs, you can do something like this. It's not difficult. It's actually not difficult. People want to look for who is going to be their teacher be their children's teacher. You can consult. You mustn't be the one. I currently have roughly about 40 teachers Some of them I've never met, some of them I know in Abuja, that work, I don't want to say for me, with me, as what? Online teachers. Because I do receive calls of those who want to, who are looking for teachers to teach their children or teachers for themselves, either in the formal sector or in the non-formal sector. So what I do, I receive the call, I collect the decision, fight it. Do not do read forward and forward and forward and forward. Do not do read forward and forward and forward and forward and forward. The same material I've written 3 years ago, except I'm reviewing. So you can do the same. You can consult. You can train. You can same. You can consult. You can train. You can train teachers how to be a teacher. You can train teachers to be a 21st century teachers. You can train, you can do a lot of things and make extra money from it. It doesn't disturb your academic endeavor as teachers. You do this later in the day, you do this by weekend. It doesn't disturb you. You can be an education technology or digital learning consultant or trainer. You innovate. You bring ideas together. How do you connect teachers together? You must be able to be an innovative educator. You must make sure you make use of technology. There are several materials that you can put on Google Drive. You sell the link. You sell the materials. Design curriculum, design past questions, design current questions, design a lot of things. Make sure it is flexible for them to adopt and adapt. You can even customize it. Put your name there, either as PDF or as Word document. Sell it. If you do a massive publicity, you can just collect a token of 10,000 naira for several of the materials. And you can get people patronizing you, just about 20 persons paying 10,000 naira per month. That's 200,000 naira. I don't have to do extra work. This material, you have them on your table in the class. You have them at home. You just work around them, change the name of the writer, put your name and work around it and make sure you do massive publicity. You can write content, you can create content and become a public speaker. You can create content. Some of the best educators are public speakers. They teach, they go to events like this and teach people what they need to do, how they need to do it. You can create content, set up a YouTube channel, set up a Facebook channel, set up a TikTok channel, set up an Instagram channel. Currently, we have a Facebook channel, 3 different Facebook channels of about 12,000 followers, 10,000 followers, 9,000 plus followers. This is not just something you just wake up one day and get to do. These are different phased areas of educational programs. SA consulting, laydoing, and the likes. You can do the same. You mustn't necessarily need to be paid by Facebook, but people can see your content and call you to do the same for them, and you charge them. You can be a face. You can be posting content, do a video. Currently, we have a YouTube channel of about 3,000 plus followers. That's huge. 3,000 plus followers on YouTube is equivalent to about 30-something thousand on Facebook, for those who know this. Am I wrong? 1,000 followers on YouTube is like 100,000 followers on Facebook. It's huge. And funny enough, any content you post on YouTube, or especially YouTube, they are there forever. Even after 10 years, you still get called and get paid. The content is there forever. So create content, post them online, let people reach out to you, and that's all. You can create content, and of course, you can be a non-formal educator practitioner. What does that mean? Vocation, skills. If you agree with me, federal government is now moving from formal sector to non-formal sector. Just of recently, they launched a new set of curriculum for secondary school, right? Junior secondary school and senior secondary school, right? And when you see the list of the curriculum, roughly about 30% of them are skill-focused programs. It's not a big deal. You don't need to be I didn't even study education. I studied philosophy. But I've written books on education. I've done several programs involvement in education that some people in education might find it really difficult to be involved or to go into. So my presentation today is to diversify, to open our mindset that we mustn't necessarily need teaching. We don't necessarily need to leave teaching, but we can make use of our experience, our knowledge, our skills, and making use of the globalization, the technology we currently have, to reach out to the world and make more money. That's the bottom line. You need to make more money and do that. So what is our call to action today? Let us look inward of ourselves. What are the skills you know you can deliver? What are the skills? Do you have a microphone in the house? I want to ask one or two persons. Let's see what the skills and let's see how we can develop it. What skill do you have? Anyone? What skill do you think you do have at the moment that anytime, any day, they wake you up, you can talk about it or you can design it? Anyone? Anyone? You can raise up your hand, any microphone. Let's talk about it. Within 5 minutes, we expand it and we give you, open your eyes to it. Anyone? Any, aside from teaching, any skills that you think you can deliver? Within the teaching sector, within the education sector, whatever. If it's writing, if it's content creation, if it's talking, you like talking. If it's looking, you like looking at people's faces. Look, you can look very well. We develop it for you now. Anybody, anything. Don't be shy. We are all learning here.
All right.
Thank you so much,
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kolawole Ibrahim. I do product design, websites, and apps aside teaching.
Aside teaching. Website designing, product designing, outside teaching. Okay, let me share our mindset. infep.gov, I mean infep.org, infep.org. The website was designed 2 million naira. We have only paid 1.5 million naira because the website guy has not been able to finish up with the stuff. So we're not balancing. Family, just do a normal stuff. You can even sketch. You can even show them a black end. They won't ask you too much. But because they love what you are doing, they will ask you to come and deliver. And they will pay you. You get paid. Some people can even fly you down to outside, to Lagos, to anywhere. And they will pay you. Anyone else who wants to just review? Anyone? Okay. So let's just round up. So look inward and see what you can deliver. And of course, God will help you. Let's start small. You can always continue to start small. Start small. Don't think you can start today and make it big today. No, it's not going to be possible for anyone. Make sure you start small and build on it. But of course, as you're starting, see the end as you are starting. You must have seen the end. And you know, in the next 5 years is when you make it. 2 years is when you make it. 5 years is when you make it. Think big. Think enterprise. This is why we are here. When educators diversify and thrive, we inspire our learners to dream bigger. We show that education is not just about passing exams, but about unlocking potential and creating solutions for the world. Moreover, in Africa, where teachers are often undervalued, becoming...
Wow. He really spoke a lot about... Wow. He really spoke a lot about skill acquisition. And I'm very sure that a lot of teachers, beyond teaching, you should already know that your little stipend is not something that can take you home, you know, and you also need to be thinking of different ways. You know, that's one thing about innovation. You keep with that. And there are some teachers who also have students because a lot of innovative ideas. You know, when you're applying for your innovative ideas, some of the teachers, they teach their students, you know, some of the teachers that do business studies, they try to engage the students around, you know, that. You know, I think that is also an awesome idea. So opening up to yourself, personally helping yourself to have multiple stream of income, that is one hand. On the other hand, also teaching your students in class how they can be able to become business oriented. Those who want to go into the business world, those who want to become, you know, business tycoons, and just to mention a few, you can also make them to be innovative along that line. Please, a round of applause again for Mr. Segun Abiri, sharing with us so that we can do more. I'm going to discuss with our partners, and I'm going to surely get back to you. I will meet you in your office. All right, so the next thing we're supposed to have an icebreaker, but because of time, you know, I would have loved to give Mr. Segun more time, you know, so that he could just keep talking and talking and talking, and, you know, we'll just have a practical session. I hope we'll have more time with him some time or one of these days. All right, so the next thing we'll be having will be Victor Adegboye give his presentation. I want to tell you something about Mr. Victor Adegboye. It was through him I was able to connect with the Murdoch Thompson Center for Teachers. William Lavin, the president, was talking about the Murdoch Thompson Center for Teachers. He also mentioned that they are 30 years old, like they started in 1995. All right, but we signed...
Go. I joined a conversation for teachers, the MTC, and a liaison to the MTC, and a liaison to the Intellectual Giants of Africa Foundation, The president of the MTC, Bill Lavin, reached out and shared what the organization was about with me. I was excited to see the work they were doing in Nigeria and Ivory Coast through the Summer Fellowship for Innovative Teaching Award, the SFIT. The $1,000 prize given to teachers in different schools was incredible for me to learn about. And I knew it was a big deal. The only challenge at that time was that there was nobody from the MTC in Nigeria on the ground to advance our objectives further. I happily tried to meet with different folks. That was when suddenly I remembered my remarkable friend who was my housemate in the university, Emmanuel Idiagi, who is the president and founder of his NGO, the Intellectual Giants of Africa Foundation, INGAF. If I am limited to a single word to describe Emmanuel, it will be intense. From the time I've known him till now, he has displayed intensity of focus and determination in every sphere of his life, from his religious and academic to his charitable non-profit work. That intensity drives his desire to make impact wherever he is. He's a true believer in the power of education to transform people's lives, and his intense and relentless pursuit of tangible contribution to humanity comes through in a contagious way. I have had the privilege of meeting some of his team members, and I am impressed by their similar commitment to excellence and impact. A special shout out to Emmanuel Olufemi, and a shout out to all the other INGAF team members that I have not yet personally met. We see your work and appreciate you all. To say INGAF has been a blessing to us would be an understatement. The work they have done for MTC in mobilizing teachers, visiting schools, organizing the award ceremonies, inviting special reputable speakers, handling and managing our communications on our behalf, and giving us the very best every single time is extraordinary. They go above and beyond in ensuring things run smoothly, and they have been contributing to other strategic conversations and initiatives. When I think about what INGAF is doing, my contribution to the educational sector in Nigeria pales to that. But I am proud of the speaking and mentorship engagements and outreaches to students I've done in the past. I'm proud of the friends and younger ones I mentored to get full funding to do their master's and PhD in the United States. I'm proud of the hundreds of young people who have heard my story and have been inspired to pursue academic excellence. Most of my recent volunteer work with people revolves around providing mentorship to ambitious African students who need guidance on navigating admissions into the United States schools. And I have success stories from Nigerian students doing research on public health to artificial intelligence applications. I am proud that some of the people I've had the privilege to work with are actively working on projects that have the power to not just transform Nigeria or Africa, but the entire world. That is the power of education. Perhaps one thing I should stress a bit more in this address is how relationships have been central in a lot of our accomplishments. I met INGAF's founder, Emmanuel, over 14 years ago in college at the University of Benin in Nigeria, and we have kept in touch since. Of course, we do not talk every day or every week, but we often converge at different times to catch up and work on projects together. And when there is need for more frequent interaction, we figure it out. The reason I bring this up is for you to recognize the power of relationships that you are forming with your students. You can cultivate ethical relationships that inspire students to greatness. These students will forever remember you as you mentor them and eventually write letters of recommendations that will take them to higher places. You are not just teaching, you are inspiring, and you will be better at this when students feel better connected to you. The future of the children in the nation is the future of the nation itself. Teachers like you get the incredible privilege of shaping this directly through the execution of your enormous educational responsibility. Make no mistake, you're making a difference, even when it does not immediately appear so to you or others around. The skills you teach your pupils, they compound in shaping their identities, their intellect, their values, their ambitions. You provide the spark that lights their creativity and continues to fan the flame for the 16 or more years they spend with you and your colleagues in the elementary to secondary school system. It sounds cliche to say this in 2025, that the pen is mightier than the sword. In fact, many may debate this fact amidst the present challenges being experienced worldwide with misinformation, irresponsible consumption, pollution, lack of empathy, lack of compassion, the rise in hate, mindless entertainment that promotes vile values. Democracies are splintering under the pressures of ethno-nationalistic and supremacist ideas that reject open-minded and pluralistic approaches to solving complex global problems. Technological breakthroughs are being politicized in ways that advance harm and undermine privacy whilst protecting malicious characters. There are so many challenges we face in the world today, and it appears that money is all that counts and teachers are wasting their time. It certainly does not help that unemployment among college graduates is extremely high, and the industrialization of education has eroded the appreciation for its more intangible contributions to human flourishing. I know there's a wide gamut of teachers present today. Some advance knowledge of the arts, as others teach the sciences and technology. Regardless of your specific disciplines, you should never forget how important you are to nation building. It is discouraging, I admit. It is often a thankless job, I know. It can be a huge strain and sacrifice on your financial well-being, and it can be downplayed in today's society. But you count. Your contributions matter. Your contributions count. Your work is invaluable, and you are special in a way professionals in other fields will never, ever get to experience or appreciate. I want to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing and do more. Do not be discouraged. There are often creative ways to solve problems, and that's what our foundation, the MTC, is about. We love to spur your innovative engines as teachers because we believe you do better work and make more impact that way. We are here to support you in your journey of nation building and future shaping through innovative teaching. Together with our partners on the ground, the INGAF, we are expressing our appreciation for your dedication towards the children in your classrooms. To end this, I borrow and blend multiple cliches. Every single time you step out to go to work, I encourage you to hold your head high in pride and see your mission as a high calling to your nation. Congratulations to the winners of this year's SFIT, and thanks to all the participants and volunteers, and special thanks to our special guests of honor. We appreciate you. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much. So we want to give an opportunity to all the SFIT. Who's coming first? To all the SFIT winners, just 2 minutes, please. 2 minutes. Just tell us your innovative idea in 2 minutes. Don't tell us thank you, thank the MT. No, don't worry. We are happy. We know you are grateful. Go straight to the reason or the innovative idea that you were able to sell over and all of those things. So the first person who is coming up, media, who's the first? Okay, so let me give the ladies first. Okay, so let's give this. She could give you the your one. So can you come on, please? Please a round of applause for us. Tell us in the next 2 minutes. I'm not going to leave the stage. Please, you can give us the mic. Thank you.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests and fellow educators. My name is Chioma, and today I am honored to share my classroom innovation, Echoes of Home. This project is born from a simple but powerful idea, which is when students see their identities, their experiences, their cultures, echoed in what they learn in class, education goes beyond knowledge or transformation. We believe that education is the bridge to the future, right? But for some students, that bridge feels shaky, right? In many classes, the teaching experience or the learning experience is disconnected from the learner's world, right? So when we bring in students' lived experiences in class, it helps us, right? It helps education go beyond passing exams to reading because, oh, I want to learn, right? So that's all about my innovation. It's about bringing cultural or lived experiences of the learners into class and helping them learn education, not because they just want to pass exams. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that innovative idea. Now in our school they have a lot of them, but out of the many innovative teachers in our school, she was selected. Thank you very much. So the next person will be Mr. N.A. Thompson Salami. Round of applause for him. Thank you.
All right, good afternoon everyone. My name is Thompson Salami from Kingsway School. I teach English. I happen to be one of the 2025 SFIT award winners, and I would like to share my innovative ideas with you. All right, but before that, I would like to create a kind of background information that will aid better comprehension. Okay, I've taught for quite a number of years, and in my years of service, I've gotten to realize two things. One, when topics in English language are taught as disconnected units, students tend to be passive and unmotivated to learn. And then secondly, I've gotten to realize that children tend to have this innate love for storytelling, this inborn love for storytelling. Okay, and it occurred to me that when I just walk into the class and I teach, they tend to crave for stories. Right? Rather than talking about repetition and all that. So I started looking for a method, a pedagogy that can actually help me break that gap, that can help me incorporate what the curriculum wants me to teach them alongside the story that they actually want. So it led me to the project title, which is Teaching English Language Through Classroom Journalism. Teaching English Language Through Classroom Journalism. Okay, you all agree with me that the key word there is journalism. What's journalism? Journalism is a work that is concerned with the collection, writing, editing, and presentation of information to the public. Alright, I mentioned 4 things. 1, collection of information. The second one, the writing of information. The third one, the editing of information. And lastly, the presentation of information. Okay, now, you see, basically in English language, there are 4 basic skills. There are 4 communicative skills in English language. The first one, please follow me up, alright? I want to create a kind of link for better understanding. Alright, Okay, you see, there are four basic skills in English language. The first one, the writing skill, the speaking skill, the listening skill, and the reading skill. Okay, all these four skills that I mentioned can be accounted for, and they can be best taught with the journalism method. Okay, writing is taught through the writing that I made mention of in the definition of journalism. Okay, speaking is taught through presentation. Okay, then listening is taught. Listening is taught when I ask them to come out and read what they've written down in the journalism and all that. Okay, now how does the method work? How does it work? Okay, let's supposing the scheme of work requires me to teach report writing, for example. What do? I work inside the class. I group the students into 3 different groups: group 1, group 2, group 3. Okay, I assign roles to them. The first group, your role is to write. The second group, your role is to edit. The third group, your role is to present. Now, while the first group is writing, the second group is getting prepared to get to work. Okay, the moment the first group finish writing the paragraph, I transfer it to the second group. Okay, this was a learning writing at the moment. Then the second group is learning the application of grammar in writing. I give them the checklist. What these ones have written, try and cross-check. Are all these things correct? Are they up to standard? Okay, these are the editors. Then when the editors are done, they transfer it to group 3, which happen to be the presenters. And at the end of it all, I, as the facilitator or the moderator, I come out, I make general corrections and topic-based corrections. I think this is virtually everything.
Thank you very much. Yes, or when you have innovative ideas, they just keep pouring. So it's not his fault, all right? Thank you so much. Next person will be Mr. Shido Lazarus of Writer School.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shido Lazarus. I teach ICT, which is Information and Communication Technology for primary school. Alright, so I realized that just teaching these children definitions would not work. They might remember the definitions, remember what it is, remember define this, remember differentiate this. But when you add all practicals to it helps them to remember more than just definitions. You will see kids in class knowing all the definitions, but coming to practicalize that definition is very difficult for them. So I think there is a situation whereby we connect both the definition part and the practical aspect of it. Now, when you come to class, after teaching, our next contact again, we go to the lab, we practicalize what we have taught, and give these children home points, we they try to solve your parents' laptop and see how it turns out to be. And from there, you realize that most of the children will come and give you great feedback. Even you as a teacher, you learn from them. There are things they will tell you that you've not even seen yourself. You will say, okay, let me go and try it at home. I don't know if you get me. So, connecting both ICT, because ICT now has to do everything you are doing, practically everything you are doing now. You go to agriculture, you use the computer. You go to communication, you use the computer. You go to commerce, everything you are doing has to be ICT. So I will advise that we do more of practicals. If you just British things now, they do more of the definitions, while we in Nigeria do more of the practicals. So if you join the two together, you realize that this student will learn more, other than just teaching them definitions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And the last question that will be coming for the presentation will be Mr. Rabin Stephen Vega of Community Secondary School Association.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rabin Stephen Vega. I teach the English language at Community Secondary School at Sokoto. From my years of experience in the classroom, I come to realize that a particular aspect of this subject has been posing difficulties, especially for my students. And that aspect is the aspect of phonetics and phonology. And when it comes to our own term, in a layman term, we can just basically describe it as oral English. So from my observation of the Nigerian context, many of my students, a lot of them, they grew up in a particular background. Their linguistic background is such that do not promote this aspect of the English language. In fact, the environment is kind of hostile to this. Oftentimes, my student will come back to the class and tell me, Uncle, we cannot continue to use this because my parents at home are finding it difficult to understand or to grasp. Besides, one of them stood up in the class one day and said, Uncle, if we continue to speak this way, in no distance time, people will mistake what you mean for another thing. So I discovered that the interest of the students are gradually going down, especially in this aspect. And do not forget, it's an aspect that makes up a particular, culmination, especially for West African examination, NECO, and even JAM. So to get my students encouraged, and knowing fully well that we are in an advanced world, especially where technology is the order of the day, so I try to see how to sustain and tame the interest of my students. So in this aspect, I title my project, Breaking Sound Barrier, and that is the title. It's an innovative approach to teaching phonetics and phonology. Time will not permit me to start delving into the key terms, individual way, but in a layman definition, I would say that phonology has to do with the organization of speech sounds to convey meaning in a particular language. So this sound system, over time, we have influences of our mother tongue interferences, interrupting in the way we speak day to day. And this is obvious from my students' spoken point of view. So we used a culturally responsive mobile app titled Phonics. It's available on all Android phones. So that was where I actually got their interest in the first place. So this app has a lot of features. It looks into the acoustic, the auditory, and the, the auditory aspect, of course, and the articulatory aspect of the language. So students are able to practice with this in my class, and when they get back home, they also do a lot. So they were able to make pronunciation of words from this app. Where they get it wrong, the app will help correct them. And this is actually an innovation to substitute for especially most schools in Nigeria where we do not have the language laboratory. So this becomes very useful. So it becomes a subsidized, economic way of bringing into the class the language laboratory, which is quite expensive for most schools to afford. And this is what birthed the innovation. And in the long run, I observed that my students' performances, especially in the English language, from mock down to WAEC, NECO, and JAM. My students started, from what seems to be the lowest ebb of their articulatory process, were able to put them up to about 83% of success. This is not the end for me. I still look forward to partnering with local, app developer where we can design a functional application available to all mobile phones so that more of these features that are not present in the phonics can also be included in our own. This we hope to do in the next few months.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We are really proud of you. Thank you so much. And also, I want to also announce that every one of them have gotten their $1,000. Woo! Paid before events, like it has never happened before. 2022, 2023, 2024, we had to do the events before payment, but this time it was payment before events. Mr. Lazarus came to our office to collect his own. Mr. Salami came to our office to collect his own. I was able to connect with Mr. Rabiu and also Mr. Chico. She sent her own dollar account. All right, a round of applause for them. So they have money. You can bill them. All right, thank you very much. So we are going to go alphabetically. All the heads of schools will come out and give their pleasantries and also their speech. Yeah, I know it's going to be very brief, so I don't want to call it a speech. All right, so we'll start with A, B. So Brightac Schools, Mrs. Helen is coming up. Thank you very much. A round of applause for her. She's representing her director. All right.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the director, Brightac Schools Abuja, engineer, Mrs. Adam Chino Biorioha, I would like to appreciate the entire members of this team for this wonderful initiative and to congratulate all the awardees for today. I am honored to celebrate one of our seasoned educator, Mr. Shidok Lazarus, for winning this award. I'm so proud of his efforts. I've been a direct supervisor of Mr. Shidok Lazarus, and all I can say that he is a very seasoned, committed educator. He has made me proud in time past, and I believe that this is just a stepping stone for him. I see him achieving greater heights, and I thank him for all he's doing, and I pray that he will continue to do more. Thank you, and God bless you.
I'm trying to observe, in the next 3 minutes, the food will be coming in, don't worry. So after B is C, that's Community Secondary School. I'm going to call Mr. Seidu, my principal. A round of applause for him as he comes up.
My respected colleagues, teachers, educators, and tutors, and every other participant that is here present, good afternoon. I congratulate not only my colleague, Mr. Rabiu Stephen Benga, but all the winners of this year's edition. On behalf of Community Staff Schools Asokoro, we are grateful to Mudok Thompson Center for Teachers, as well as Intellectual Giants in Africa Foundation for co-sponsoring this kind of event. They are doing so much, not just because of the monetary aspect that comes to them. What teachers lack in this country include, not restricted to, recognition, motivation, and celebration. These two co-sponsors are doing it very well. I'm not one of the winners, I may never be, but I'm very, very happy my colleagues are getting this. We are grateful to these two co-sponsors, and I'm highly delighted that as I'm about to retire from service, my people, my own Emmanuel, our own Emmanuel, is already growing taller than me in education sector. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So the next one is ABCDE Houston British International School. Mr. Audu Emmanuel, last year winner turned head teacher.
Okay, sorry, let me change the time. It's evening already. Good evening, everyone. Okay, so I'm Audu Paul Emmanuel. I'm from Houston British International School. And last year, I won the award, and it wasn't about the money. It was far from it. The money helped me achieve a lot, but it was about the motivation and how I felt winning the award. So this year, I decided not to compete, and I told my colleagues, I don't want to compete, not because I don't need the money, I need the money, but I wanted to feel how I felt when I won. And I was so excited. Judith came out the winner, even though I love all of them equally, but somebody has to win, and Judith was the one. So I say congratulations to Judith. I told them that we are coming here today, not just to celebrate Judith, but to celebrate the Murdoch Thompson Center as well as the intellectual giants in Africa education. We want to say thank you. You are putting smile on our faces. We work in environment. There's been no time where any head of school, any proprietor will give you 500,000 naira at the end of the year. But you give us sometimes our monthly salary in a day. So we say thank you, may God bless you. You are helping us to dream, to achieve. And I was able to start my MSc, and I'm not stopping. PGD once I drop. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Kingsville Schools, represented by Mr. Itodo, representing Mr. Jani. A round of, wait.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And like the MC said, my name is Christopher Itodo, and I'm representing the head of schools, who is, he went for an emergency. Let me start by thanking God Almighty for this day and for bringing all of us here safely. And I pray He takes us back to our various destinations safely. Congratulations, Stephen. Congratulations, Lazarus. Congratulations, Judith. Congratulations, Peter Ojo in absentia. And a big congratulations to my dear brother, Thompson. At least the Murdoch Thompson Center and the Intellectual Giants in Africa Foundation has come to make most of us who are here, who are educators, has come to make us realize that the innovations we bring into our classrooms, albeit inadvertently sometimes, it's not something that we should joke with anymore. Mr. Ediri has told us that we can make a whole lot of money from it. And the things you brought out as innovations, you could sell it and make money, just like Mr. Abiri had told us here this afternoon. Keep working hard. Don't rest on your oars. Keep bringing in more innovations. Keep making the teacher-learner interaction in the classroom more interesting. Keep impacting knowledge and keep growing the next generations after us. And I pray that after you, better promotions. After this, better promotions, better innovations, better rewards will come to all of us. Once again, let me say a big welcome to all of us to Kingsville School, our serene environment where we learn in style. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, thank you so much for that. So the next thing on our agenda is just photographs, and this is what we use for our website, this is what we use for our social media pages, and also for promotion of what we do. So the first on our list will be the SFIT winners. So you are just going to come up. I don't know how we are going to do it. Media, should I remove this pulpit? All right, so please give us a background music as we are doing that. So all the SFIT winners, you are going to come up with your dummy checks. Thank you. Yes, so you just bring your dummy check and come here. We want to take to be all the SFIT winners. And after that, we are going to have the heads of schools with them. We'll also have the past SFIT winners coming up and so on. Thank you. All right, thank you. Let me join. Okay. right, thank you. The heads of schools, please, you can come up once again. Thank you so much. Then after that, the past SFIT winners will come up to snap with their new colleagues that have joined them as alumni of the SFIT program. Then teachers should be warming up to snap with them. Yes, the past SFIT winners, please join them. Thank you. The past SFIT winners. Past SFIT winners, 2022, 2023, 2024, and current 2025.
Louder.